Imagine an empty duffel bag, a mountain of cash, and a single instruction: keep whatever you can fit inside. This diagram shows the brain's reaction to the prospect of sudden, limitless wealth. This exposure triggers a massive flood of dopamine straight into the reward pathways. Jimmy, Mike, and Sarah begin frantically shoveling bills into their bags, piling $10, $20, even $40,000 into a single duffel. In this environment of pure euphoria, the immediate reward overrides any impulse toward rational restraint. This is hyperbolic discounting. The brain places such an extreme value on the payoff happening right now that it becomes incapable of calculating future consequences. The subjects pack their bags to the absolute limit, ignoring the foundational rule of behavioral experiments: free money is never actually free. To keep the cash, the subjects must now hang suspended from a bar, bearing the exact weight of the money they just packed. This graphic calculates the physical reality of $40,000 in mixed paper currency. It is a dense, concentrated mass that adds a significant structural load to the competitor's body. Sarah's euphoria vanishes as soon as she lifts her bag. She realizes she has created a massive physical burden for herself. By packing the bags to the limit, the contestants have essentially built their own resistance. Their prize has been transformed into a heavy anchor that will spend the duration of the challenge trying to pull them back to the ground. The host hoists the weighted competitors into the air, instantly shifting the entire load onto their muscles and joints. This diagram maps the gravitational forces at play. Gravity creates a constant driving downward force that hyperextends the shoulder joints and pulls against the fingers. Jimmy is already in visible pain, yet he refuses to regret taking $40,000. Jimmy's brain is currently gripped by the sunk cost fallacy. He has invested so much energy into the idea of this money that his mind refuses to let the bag go, regardless of the physical cost. This cognitive bias commands the brain to temporarily override the body's pain receptors to protect the perceived investment. In this stage, the hang is a battle between biological pain responses and the psychological delusion of the sunk cost. Sarah's grip gives out, leaving Mike and Jimmy in a one-on-one showdown. Mike's forearms have depleted their oxygen supply. His muscles are now operating in a state of anaerobic burn, which is biologically unsustainable. This level of physical stress triggers Mike's sweat glands, producing excessive moisture on his palms. This cross-section shows the physics of failure. The sweat acts as a lubricant between the skin and the metal, causing the friction coefficient to drop until a secure hold becomes impossible. Sensing his own grip is rapidly failing, Mike begins violently shaking the heavy bar, attempting to sabotage Jimmy. When biological endurance collapses, human desperation forces a shift toward destructive, zero-sum tactics. The kinetic energy from the shaking bar overcomes Mike's grip. His fingers begin sliding off the metal, and he plummets to the ground. Jimmy is the sole survivor, having outlasted both the weight of the cash and his opponent's sabotage. The host presents the money, but Jimmy is too physically exhausted to even celebrate. This graph identifies the optimal threshold, the point where a subject achieves the maximum possible payout just before crossing the threshold of total physical failure. Surviving a high-stakes scenario requires calculating the exact weight of your own greed before it drags you down.